Okay, I got a brand new Shark Spartan 1.2 helmet here in front of. Just came in the mail. I reviewed this helmet last week, but it was an extra large I borrowed from a friend of mine. And this is a medium that fits me perfectly. And here is my, by the way, this was $149 off eBay, brand new. This was $250, blowout sale. Discontinued model 11, the HJC ARFA 11. And this is the Shoei X15, a fabulous helmet. I paid full retail for this, $11.50 I think I paid. Nice. And just to give you a view compared to the other two. Okay. I'll take a look at the front. I love the shape of the Shark helmet. Nice rounded shape. I much prefer it over the unusual shape of the HJC, which is a great helmet, but I just prefer the rounded. And if you look closely, you've got a chin vent you push in to open it, and you just push in the top to close. And then up here you have a switch for the top vent. Forward is closed, back is open. And then if you look down here, this is the lever to open and close the visor. You just put your hand on the top flat. You can't not find it. It's super easy to find. So let's take another look at that. You can put it in any position, and it drops down below the breath guard. The fit and finish is very good. The lining is very nice. It's got a nice shield. You know, it has its limits though, in that it was a mid-range helmet, and you can see it in, like, for example, even though this face shield is very nice and optically awesome, you've got 4 indents on this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. And the first indent is quite high off, but you do have that high thing there. And then you have the usual vents going along that blow air into the liner, top and bottom. And you have very thick padding around the face that really grabs your face nicely. But if you compare the padding on the Shoei, there's really no comparison. You've got this high-tech wicking material that draws sweat away. And this feels good. It feels quality, but it's at a lower level, definitely. Yeah, it has a nice plush liner, and you'll notice the opening for your head is very narrow, so it's a quiet helmet. It wraps around your neck and nice and quiet. Let's put the shields up all the way. Look how high this one sits up. Not that that matters, but it's interesting. You got a single vent here, and you have these 2 big vents. In this, you've got the single vent here, but it's quite large. And this one has the best chin venting. You got this vent here just sucks the air in. It works incredibly well. And then you got a smaller vent down here. And if I close that, that's locked. That's how easy it is to lock. And then you push in and push up to unlock it. But it locks real easy. And then it has a double lock system, which is slide it right over. And the first indent is really low. Then the second indent is still much lower than this. So if you examine them closely, you really see how much more you get for your money. But this still is a fine helmet. Super nice. Do you need 8 indents? Do you need a shield that locks down? Is this going to bother you, having the first indent that high up? Not me. But the reason I bought this is the sun visor, which is the star of the show. Fabulous sun visor. Nice. And it sits away from your eyes, which I mentioned in the other review. Nice silver, gray, and black color scheme. Yeah. I mean, you have to look real close to see the cost savings on this. It's very aerodynamic. It looks sleek. It's not really fair to Shark to compare it to these two helmets, especially this one, but look how much higher. Just look how much higher the racing helmet is positioned up so much higher. So you can really get in a tuck position and get a good view out front. This has a large opening, larger than this one, but it's positioned lower. But it does have a very sharp upward angle compared to some other helmets, so you still can use this in a tuck position. But you will see the top of the opening. That'll either bother you or it won't. Got your standard D-ring. Yeah. I can't do this with one hand, so I gotta. So as you can see, this has you gotta open it using this on the side, which I happen to like a lot. Yep, there it is. And the sun shield is just the right tint. It's not too dark. And from here I will take it on a ride and check those aerodynamics and the noise and report back. Hi, in this review I'm going to compare the Shark Spartan 1.2 to my other helmets, those being the Shoei X15, the Shoei RF1400, and the HJC Arfa 11 Pro. This Shark Spartan 1.2 is a mid-price product originally retailing for around $400, but they are blowing out inventory and you can get one for $149 as of August of 2024. I ordered mine on a Monday and received it 4 days later on Friday via International Federal Express. That's fabulous service by a company called Helmet Discounter in the Netherlands, which I found on eBay. This helmet has an intermediate oval racing fit, meaning that it comes true to size and it's very tight. It will loosen up to being perfect once broken in, If you are not used to a racing tight fit and you don't want to wait for it to break in, you might want to take a pass on this helmet. Sizing up will just put you into a shell size that's too big for your head, because this helmet only comes in 2 shell sizes. So if you are a medium or an extra large, you luck out and get the smallest shell for your head size. But if you are an extra small or a size large, you may want to take a pass on this helmet because the shell will look too big on you. If you look closely at the front of the Shark Spartan 1.2, it's unusually smooth, with no protrusions or rough patches that could possibly disturb airflow, and it really pays off when going down the highway with reduced wind noise. This helmet is noticeably more quiet than any of the other helmets in my lineup. There is also less wind noise coming in from under the helmet due to the very tight wraparound collar that you can see in the intro video. You really have to jam your head through it, but it's worth it to get that noise isolation, in my opinion. The Shark Spartan 1.2 helmet slices through the air nicely, offering very minimal resistance. However, noticeably more resistance than the X15. I would say aerodynamically, the Shark Spartan 1.2 is very close to, but edged out by the RF 1400 and Alpha 11. The inner and outer shells on the Shark Spartan 1.2 offer optical quality that's as good as anything I've experienced, providing a crystal clear, distortion-free view all the way to the outer edges. The inner drop-down sun shield has a bulbous shape which is very unusual, and the level of tint is perfect, with a very slight bluish quality that's nice to look through. This sun shield is much better than the one on the Shoei GT Air 2 that I used to own. Meanwhile, the outer shield has an ever so slight yellowish tint to it that I like very much. The sun shield mechanism on the Shark Spartan 1.2 is much easier to find and use than on the Shoei GT Air. You just lay your hand flat on the top of the helmet and you can't miss it. However, be advised that I cannot testify to how well it keeps the rain out because I haven't owned it long enough. The 2 vents offered on the Shark Spartan 1.2 at the chin and the top of the head are super easy to operate with gloves on and provide excellent wind flow, offering a nice swirl of air circulating around as soon as you hit around 40 miles per hour. If you made me complain, I would say there are only 4 outer shield indents, and the outer shield doesn't lock down, although there is a very large gasket to keep rain out, and it has never flipped up on me while blasting down the highway on my Fireblade. The liner and shell material are mid-range quality, which is plenty good enough for me, but not up to the level of the Shoei offerings, which seem more durable, faster wicking, and will probably last longer before needing to be swapped out, although I can't prove it. The face shield opening on the Spartan 1.2 is very clever because it's located lower than on my other helmets, offering great downward vision, and yet the top part of the opening is angled up steeply, providing a good view in a tucked racing position, a little better than on the RF 1400. I also like the fact that in a tucked position, the back of this helmet doesn't bump into the back of my jacket like it does on the RF 1400. Of course, if you have a long neck, this might not even be a factor for you. The graphics and fit and finish of this Spartan 1.2 are beautifully executed, and although the materials used are at the moderate price level, they are still very nice and will satisfy all but the pickiest of users. Everything on this helmet works perfectly, and the engineers deserve a lot of credit. Regarding weight, the Shark Spartan 1.2 is definitely the lightest helmet in my lineup. Despite having a low-tech fiberglass shell, my medium weighs in at 1,387 grams, which is 336 grams less than the beefier and more protective showy RF1400, and 286 grams less than the X15, which sports 3 safety ratings and is a much larger helmet front to back. The Spartan 1.2 is also a tad lighter than the famously light Alpha 11 Pro, beating it out by 71 grams. The main features of this helmet are its scaled-down lightweight design and the sun shield. In my opinion, this is the best executed drop-down sun shield on the market. It also is the best helmet I've used as far as being glasses friendly. Here are my ratings for the Shark Spartan, which are also listed below the video. For weight, I would give it a 5 out of 5. For noise level, I would give it a 5 out of 5. For the drop-down sun visor, I would give it a 5 out of 5. For outer shield clarity, I would give it a 5 out of 5. For outer shield indents and lockdown, I would give it 2.5 out of 5. For the outer shield mechanism, I would give it a 5 out of 5. Fit and finish, I would give it a 4 out of 5. For materials, I would give it a 2.5 out of 5. The graphics, I would give a 3 out of 5. And the inner liner, I would give a 3 out of 5. So my overall score is 4 out of 5. And at a price of $149, I would actually give it a 20 out of 5. Thanks for watching.